Hey, how you doing? So this is our quickie version, sort of like talk video, without actually being on the video, just to explain the graphics so you understand the clip order coming up, and then the longer version of our show comes up at the end. For legal purposes, you may learn a few something, hear some good tunes, see some Pi Kappa Alpha House Sweethearts in the background. All right. So, yeah, odd statements to be making in terms of Dwight Howard, and that was made to the local media, so you won't see that on ESPN. But they're definitely on the defensive, and of course this was taken days ago, and they've lost everything they've played since. So yeah, everybody's panicking in LA. You know, the problem is when you poach from other teams, there's no amount of money that's going to pull it together or hold it together. Only a Zen master like Phil could pull it off, like he did. And then Jim Hill, well, you know, to those of you not in LA, you don't know who he may be. Well, this is the man on point for the local CBS affiliate here in Los Angeles. That's a big deal. The #1 media market. Is there a designated time slot for the Jim Hill show? No. So when is it? It's always after any big sporting event on CBS. Boom. It could be 4:39. It could be 2:37. You never know. And this has been his shtick for years, and I'm saying, dude, it sounds like you're reading a monologue off of the transcript of how the game went. How is this guy still sportscasting, with all due respect? He had kind of an edge to him when he was younger, but seriously, when you listen to this guy, well, I thought I was watching sports here, right? And then update on RG3. All right, now on with the vid highlights.
Tangle up under the basket. It always gets interesting when these two teams meet. The Thunder hang on to win it by a score of 114-108.
We didn't give up. We fought back and gave ourselves a little bit of a chance at the end. Not much, but still a little bit of a chance. They continued to battle.
We grew tonight, despite the loss. We did a lot of great things in the second half, which we haven't been doing, in the past couple of games. So it's going to take time, but we're going to stay together. We have a close-knit team, and we're not going to let anything from the outside, break us. It's going to take time, but we're going to stay together. We have a close-knit team, and we're not going to let anything from the outside, break us.
Meanwhile, the regular season in college football is over, except for one final rivalry game this afternoon in Philadelphia. The Army-Navy game has 122 years of history, but in recent years, the midshipmen of Navy have dominated, winning the last 10 games. Today, the Black Knights tried to end that streak. Plenty of pregame honors for two of our prominent branches of the armed forces. Vice President Joe Biden greeting both teams before the game, and a few displays of respect prior to setting up for kickoff for this one. Now we go to the action.
And in part by Macy's.
If you remember the buzz in the nation's capital for the Nationals, who made the postseason for the first time since coming to D.C., that will be nothing compared to the level of hysteria if the Redskins make the playoffs.
But again, Washington, sporting hopes hanging by a ligament. Steven Strasburg's ulnar collateral ligament has been replaced by Griffin's lateral collateral ligament. It's a lot of anatomy. Coaches and fans, they just want to know, torn, not torn, going to play, not going to play. In this case, RG3 rhymes with lucky.
He's had some mild swelling. He had his right knee repaired, his ACL in 2009. That looks great. No problem there. We'll evaluate it day by day, see how he is on Wednesday. But talking to him today, he felt pretty good. He's definitely not ruled out for the Cleveland game. We felt very good with the news. And you're hoping with rehab, gets better very quickly, but we don't know for sure. We'll have to go day by day and evaluate it day by day. You're going to do what's in the best interest of the player, which is usually the best interest of the team. And so we'll take a look at him during the week and make a decision if he's able to go. We're not going to put him out there if we think he's not completely healthy and he can't do the things that help us win. So that's part of the evaluation during the week.
Before there was RG3, there was Redskins fan favorite tight end Chris Cooley, who's been with this team for 9 years. He was released back in August, but re-signed by the team in October. And Chris joins us now from Redskins Park. So this team, Chris, has now won 4 in a row. What has this ride been like for you?
It's been unbelievable, and any fan favoritism pales in comparison to the way people feel about RG3. Our stadium goes wild for him. He deserves every part of it. He's been unbelievable for us all year. And this team's really came together in the last 4 or 5 weeks, and it's been an awesome ride.
How much of that credit in your mind goes to Robert Griffin III?
I think he is due so much credit. Obviously, the team's playing very well, but he's been such a spark for us. He's the kind of guy that you look at and say, yeah, we can do this. We can follow this guy. We believe. And it's pretty amazing that he's a rookie and you think of that and still believe. But he's the kind of guy that you can follow. But I see him in the locker room, and I still have to give him a rookie crap. I call him stupid rookie, or everyone wants nicknames for him. I like to call him Skippy, or Skippy McDougal.
Why do you call him
He
Skippy?
doesn't get that, but I like that. I just want him to feel like a rookie.
Take me in the locker room, because you have worked under 7 different starting quarterbacks there with the Redskins. So what is it that he does that is different in the locker room with you guys?
He's a natural leader. When he speaks, you listen. When something comes out of his mouth, it's meaningful every time, and it's truthful, and it's special. And for him to have that quality, that leadership quality, at the age he's at and at the level he's at, is beyond my comprehension. It's pretty impressive. His parents must be amazing people. He's an amazing person. And the guys around him, as well as I think everyone in America right now, are in awe of it. And he deserves it. He does everything. He never lets you down.
Your quarterback also loves to run. And there are folks out there that think that he's going to get himself seriously injured because of the way that he plays the game. We saw him go out Sunday. We know now that he's day-to-day. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think he's very effective as a runner, but I don't think he's in any way should be considered a running quarterback. He's the kind of guy that can sit in the pocket and throw. We're doing things that he does well. And if you look at the game of football, almost everyone that plays the game gets hurt. Quarterbacks that don't ever run get hurt. It's a part of the game. And so he's playing his game.
Chris Cooley, Redskins tight end, fan favorite in his own right. We appreciate you joining us on SportsCenter, Chris.
Lindsay, thank you so much for your time.
Boom to the hay, all you sports fans out there in the Tubosphere. Welcome to the One-Man Sports Rant. Gen 2.0. I am your host, Will, the alternative ESPN, and every other network that we cover, Sports Thrill, specializing in college football and basketball and all of the other sporting events in their singular nature, such as they may occur. Why such an emphasis on the college sports? I was a linebacker and off guard at the collegiate level, however short-lived, blew up both my ankles, never was able to realize my sports prowess, walked on at both events, but I was a non-traditional student, so I sort of screwed up high school, got my act together, got my butt back into college, and so I had to go that route. And I still suffer from those ankles. But the point is, I did not utilize my, stay in school, by the way, high school-wise, sports abilities to the best of their abilities, because street ball wise, you know, I got a reputation still back where I was playing. So I'm not a spring chicken, but I'm not you know, going through a midlife crisis either. It's the best of both, the maturity with still the physical ability and speed to understand it all, I guess. All right, so you heard from Accept, the original balls to the wall. It's going to be a lead into for the rest of college football. By the way, this is the shorty version. This is the post-review show. As introduced by our Pi Kappa Alpha House Sweethearts, U of U chapter, Alpha Tau, giving you props. All right, so what do I mean by all this? You know, if you saw on the timestamp this video being 10 to 11 minutes thereabouts, this is the post-review show, which is what I mean by those graphics that I included. Much like when you go to a live theater stage show, and it's kind of sucking, people with class, you don't walk out on it until intermission. So I understand if I'm talking to only 2 or 5 people, because this show may not be your cup of tea. But it is the post-review. You already saw all the clips, you know, to the sporting event that we were discussing about, and I'm not going to get into it more specifically, because again, this is the baseline show, and I'll get into the legalities as to why that is in a moment. I did used to run a law firm, so to those of you still listening, stick around because you'll learn something about the particulars of YouTube. But for the shows, you know, 15 minutes or longer, it's a totally different intro than what I'm doing right now. All right. So why bother doing a show, you may ask? Because the ship has sailed, in the sense of just trying to piggyback on somebody else's network and going beyond the 5 to 7 minute mark and just trying to put that up as not necessarily your own, but obviously from somebody else. You try to give them credit on YouTube. I'm sure you may have seen this several times. Your longer clips, say like beyond the 4 minute mark, where all they're showing is like the channel immediately. That does not cover the legalities of it. What are the legalities I'm discussing? It's a little thing called the DCMA, the Digital Copyright Millennium Act. And the key tenets that we adhere to on the OMSR are, as they were hashed out through WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization: fair use standard, minimal use, derivatives, and no money exchanged in hands. Of course, that last one's a given, but it's also important. But it's a given here because, as you can see, the OMSR is a pro bono production. We adhere strictly to that. And on that note, as well, all images you see on the OMSR, not procured or produced, 2-minute warning, so I can go over on time, by the OMSR, were obtained through the public domain. So anybody out there saying, hey, Will, you're kind of using an image that we don't necessarily approve of, fine. Watch my dust. I'll take it down. Excuse me. Readjust it. The only sucky thing about that is you'll lose all the hits when you go to re-upload the same thing, plus the interest lanes on that particular event. But that's not important as opposed to what I just said. All right. And on that note, this show is copyrighted to the OMSR. Brief video highlights courtesy to the networks already discussed through Will, the Alternative Sports Pro. The OMSR does not own these video highlights, but does own all the other original content and the overall concept herein, thereof, therefore, most rights reserved. Alright, so on that note, the 2-minute warning, we go back to our musical lead into Accept. The original, to the nth degree, balls to the wall. Perfect theme music for closing out college football. You got to play balls to the wall to get a winning record, to get to a better bowl, or BCS consideration. All right, so pay attention to the end graphic at the end of the show. VAC chart from the state of California DMV. They will throw the book at you. Worst state in the union, or best, toughest, whatever you want to call it. You get a DUI. You can pause it, freeze frame it. X amount of drinks, your body type. No X amount of activity. All right, thanks for watching. Later days, and only a few more college football plays.